Okay, so welcome to the Author Spotlight. I'm really excited to be joined by Lorraine Palmer, who has recently published her book, Raw Food in a Flash. And for you, if you're a woman who's going through the menopause, or you are married to one of us who are going through the menopause, this is a book for definitely to have a look at. I've really enjoyed learning some of the techniques over the Christmas period while I was at the opportunity to read it. But you're very kindly going to join us today. So let's just take this share screen off and get your full picture. So we've got you there. Going to tell us a little bit about your journey as an author. So tell me a little bit about what was your journey, your book writing journey like? What happened?
Well, obviously I had the idea and I thought, okay, I could just go it alone really. But then I thought, no, I wouldn't mind some help. So what I did, I enlisted Karen Williams because she's a book mentor. And I just thought, okay, let me see how this is going to work. So what I did, I actually booked a VIP day with her. So I had her on board as my mentor. So not only did I get a VIP day, but I got some coaching one-to-one calls with her as well. So that was great. So she was with me on my journey to a certain extent. So yeah, it started, I would say, I think it was 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went and had a VIP day. We basically mapped out what was in my head because I had it all in there, but I hadn't started writing whatsoever. So I thought, this is a day where she's going to extrapolate everything that I've got to make it make sense. And that's what she did really. When I finished with her on that day, I had clear action steps, clear goals. I even put some timelines in there because I'm a trained coach as well. So I kind of know about it, but you know what it's like. You can't really coach yourself the way you'd like to, like you do other people. So having her there beside me, giving me ideas what I could do in this month, in that month, and how it would all flow was actually, honestly, that was absolutely brilliant. Because previous to that, honestly, it was like all in my head. It's like, oh no, how am I going to get this out? So really, doing that VIP day, getting it all mapped out, action steps, and then I just started writing. And that was the easiest bit, I would say, putting it down on paper, because it was all in there for me.
So tell me a little bit more about your book and why you wanted to write this book.
Well, the reason why I wanted to write the book is because I went through my menopause and we're looking at, okay, I'm going to be 50 next month. And I went through my menopause just after, I would say I was 41, yeah? And I had a hysterectomy. And that hysterectomy got me into the menopause. Like a year later, I started getting really bad symptoms, hot flushes to some, crawling skin, foggy head, mood swings, skin changing, weight gain. It just wasn't pretty. And then I just found that I just wanted to feel better. And I was feeling really like low, lethargic. And I just thought, you know what, I want to be more in control of me getting better. I personally didn't want to take HRT, hormone replacement therapy. And I just thought I want a more natural way. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm being totally honest, and I put it in the book, it was one of those late nights on the internet where you're doing searching and what have you. And then I found this concept of people eating raw foods. And I thought to myself, well, if you eat plant-based foods and it's raw, it's in its natural state. So it's got to be good for you. And then really, I embraced eating this way for a good while. And I realized that my symptoms had actually stopped. So I thought, I've got to tell people about this. And that's how the book came about. Because I realized that, there's a lot of women out there suffering. And if it can help me, then it may be, I don't know, it could be something that could help everybody else. Obviously, one size does not fit all. I know that. But when you found something, the first thing you want to do is share it. You want to shout to people. And I thought, the best way to actually do that is actually write a book. So it's in there and I can present it to somebody. And then it gives me an opportunity like this, for example, where I'm able to talk to you about it. And if somebody sees this, whether it's by accident or not, then, hey, then they can get access to that. So, yeah, it was really a way of me just sharing really what I now know.
Yeah.
Because when I was going through my menopause, the book wasn't there. I searched for a natural kind of remedy for me. Some people have a question mark over, no, it shouldn't be remedied. It's just a natural way. You just got to put up with it and all that. I was like, no. For me, I didn't want to feel the way I did.
Yeah.
I wanted to feel a lot better because I knew how I was becoming. It's like I could stand like this and think, that's not me, and to me, I was still young. The average age is around 51, 52 for a woman to go through it. And I thought, God, I'm 41, and I'm feeling so shit. there's got to be a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me it was, you know, the natural way, and I honestly, and I still keep to that now. I'm not 100% raw food eater, but I'm vegan now, so I still embrace plant-based foods and still eat raw as well. I live in England, it's cold, I need some warm foods now and again.
Yeah.
So that's
Definitely the message that comes out in your book, isn't it? It's about embracing it, finding out what works for you, and testing and measuring it for your own book, because everybody's different, aren't they?
Exactly. And I try and show people that, you know what, you don't really need to compromise on the taste, because people are going to be thinking, yeah, but I'm going to miss this. Yeah, I'm going to miss that. I'm showing people to embrace a different way of eating, purely because, you know, for me, getting nutrition from a plant is better than boiling it out until it's got nothing in there in terms of substance. Getting natural, but it's not for everybody. I know some people are like, no. I want my warm foods all the time. And that's fine, you know, but I'm putting it out there really for people.
And I think it is, it's about, like you say, share your experience. I know that for me, as a woman going through the menopause, I went through very early, and I certainly, as part of that, just had a culture and ethos of 80% of what I ate was vegetables and 40% of that would be raw. So that kind of just increasing. And your book gave me just ideas and inspiration for different recipes, different ways of looking at it.
Brilliant. See, that's music to my ears, because that's what the aim of it is. For someone to read that and think, do you know what? Yeah, I feel inspired now. I can do this. Oh, I never thought of doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's getting more creative with food, isn't it, along the way?
Yes.
Fabulous. So,
definitely.
So what is the most important thing that you've learned on this process as an author?
Oh my gosh. I tell you what, I enlisted Karen when I initially had the idea, and I just needed that help. I needed hand-holding and what have you. And a lot of things happened in my life that kind of derailed me. So I had actually finished all my time with Karen, but my book hadn't been completed. So I was on my own, you could say then, yeah? But because Karen is so great, I could still email her and call her and say, you know, how do you do this? Or what does this mean? And she'd respond, but I knew my time with her had finished. So, and that was down to me. I think, like I said, things happen. It wasn't as seamless as I wanted it to be. It was a universe again. There's a message here. So I realized that there were so many elements to actually write in a book. Oh my goodness, because, okay, there's the writing aspect, okay? But also you've got to think of the editing. You've got to proofread. You've got to think about the design, the layout, the formatting, what platform you're going to use. Are you going to use InDesign, desktop publishing? You're going to do it in Word. You know, there's also the promoting side. There's also marketing, you know, do stuff on social media, get your book out there. So there's the behind the scenes stuff that, you know, you're sitting down there, you're typing away, you're looking at it. Oh, it doesn't look good. Oh, I don't sound too good. Oh no, I've got to redo that. Oh, I need to edit that. Oh, there's so much. And then you're thinking, yeah, but when the book's actually done, there's another whole host of things you have to do. And even prior to that, it's about getting it printed. You know, you go to get it printed. You know, are they going to be like understanding what you want and your vision? Are they going to execute it right? Oh my gosh. Oh, there's so many elements. So if someone but then here's the thing. If someone told me that before I was going to write the book, maybe I probably wouldn't have written it. You know, I didn't have that team around me that would be ideal. Like have your book designer, you know, your editor there, your proofreader. It would have been great if I had all them people lined up, but it wasn't the case. I just knew that there was a book inside me. I wanted to communicate my message, and I was going to do it. And at that time, I just needed Karen to help me start, and that was it. So for me, it's a weird one, that, you know, because in hindsight, you're thinking, if only I knew, but then if I knew, would I have done it?
That is, I think that's quite common. And one of the things that since Karen worked with you is she's built a team. So she's now got the designers, and she's got the proofreaders and the editors and the PR people and the marketing side of it. And even got me as part of the team now. So if people get into overwhelm, to actually get it down to clarity. So sometimes there's so much in somebody's head, actually working out whether it's 2 or 3 books instead of just one book, actually how to get it all out and get it organized. That's part of the process.
Exactly. And also it's that thing about focusing. because it's so easy to spin so many plates and thinking, right, I need to be working on this, I need to be doing a bit of that. So for example, while I'm writing, I'm also thinking of what the book cover is going to look like. So at some point I've got to put it into a book format. Then I'm thinking, oh, should I be sharing it out on social media and letting people know and giving them some kind of, you know, behind the scenes, how things are going. It's like, and I guess, I could have done with you then the overwhelm bit. Definitely.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, if I did it again, there were some things that I would change, but then hindsight always shows you things, doesn't it?
So if you were saying to an author now, with that hindsight, because that's the that's the reason we do the author spotlight, so that we can share what we've learned, so we can save some of that pain for other people on their journey. What would be the one thing you'd do differently?
The one thing I think what I'd do differently is maybe, because I was so focused on the writing and just wanted it published. That was always my thing. I've got the ideas, I just want to get it down, make it look like a book, get it printed on the shelf or wherever it needs to be. That's what I was focusing on. But what I should have done, looking back now, is just look at all the different elements that actually go into getting a book into production and out there. So all those things I said before regarding the marketing and the social media and, you know, all the advertising, and just getting it into places where you think, you know, where people are going to want to buy. I needed to do more work on that, because that's what I'm doing now. And really, if I had all that kind of planned before, I wouldn't be like, not to say I'm chasing my tail, but I wouldn't be like all over the place. And that's what I mentioned earlier on before about the universe is sending me messages. I've got my fingers in so many pies. I would have been more structured, let's say.
Well, the good news is that's the next part of your journey. And I think that, I know that with marketing, it's an ongoing part, that when we talk about it, we can put our sales page up from the minute we decide we've got the idea. And I don't know if you know, but Karen's got the online marketing program starting again in April, which is every day a different tip comes out. So there's 30 different things you can do to market your book effectively. So you get a daily tip. Now I'm going to do it again in April, because the last time I think I managed to do about 10 of them out of the 30. And I know as they come in, I'll be able to go, oh, I've done that one. Oh, I've still got to do that one.
That sounds good, actually.
That might be a good resource to have. And we say to people, wherever you are on the journey, do the marketing one, because there'll be bits that you can go, oh, even though I'm still in the idea phase, I can do that bit and that bit. And and next time you do it again, if you're in the sort of like editing phase, you go, oh, I can do that bit of it. So you can build the marketing up over time rather than trying to do it all at the end.
Right. Because to be honest, I've already got a book in mind that I want to do. So you saying that is music to my ears, because I'll know what to do at each stage of the journey.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I was just learning as I went along. And sometimes that's good.
Yeah, sometimes ignorance is bliss. I know that if I'd known how much it was going to cost, I may not have done it. But I've got that money back 10 times. Sometimes not knowing is the universe's way of making you take action and do it. So that's fab.
That's true, actually, because going to the printers and seeing how much it would cost. Because I think I wrote this book that I did. I believe that I did my hardest book first. And the reason why I say that is because it's got photography in there, because it's about food. The pictures had to pop. It's also a full colour book. Yeah. It's also this size. I think it's 21 centimeters by 21. It's a square, because I wanted it to be like that. You know, I didn't want to have a standard kind of portrait size book, because it is a cookbook as well as a self-care book. So the way in which I wanted it, I kind of felt, it'd be fine. That's how I want it. That's how it's going to be. But it's the implications of what I wanted. I didn't realize that if I went to so many printers, they'd go, oh no, we don't do that size. And I'm like, you kidding me? You know, and I'm trying to look for local printers, because I'm trying to think, okay, ahead of myself in terms of, I want it to not cost me that much to get them delivered to me, because I self-published, which means I've got my books on me. You know, and that's another thing as well, because I didn't go via Amazon, because the format Amazon need, I didn't do the book in that format. So that's another thing. So you need to think ahead of yourself in terms of where you want your book to be, to know what format it needs to be in. And that's what I didn't do. I was just thinking, I want the book. I want to, you know, produce it, and that's it, because I've got this message. But you know, still, it's fine. It was just meant to be that way, because I've learned so much along my journey. Trust me, I've learned so much.
Well, and it is lovely to know that you've got clarity of what you want the book to be like, and if you don't, and you just stick with it, and you get the shape and you get the size just the way you'd like it until you find someone who can produce it.
Yes, definitely.
I think I was the other way round. I just went, which ones are available at the cheapest? Right, well, I'll make it. So that was it. So I knew I wanted it to be quite a thin book, and I knew it didn't really matter about that bit. So therefore, I suppose I knew there was parts that were right for me and parts that weren't. So it was about making that. Mine was very much about a budget. I had a budget I set myself to get the book published in, and so it was more about getting the words out there than worrying. But that's.
You talk about budget. I didn't even have a budget. That's how much I was. Yeah, you're laughing. I can laugh at myself now looking at it. That's how much I was so focused on just getting the book done. But you know what? The universe sent me people. Sent me a desktop publisher, designer. I think the only thing that I really paid for, besides obviously having Karen to start me off, was a proofreader.
Yeah.
And in the end, I ended up proofreading it myself again so many times because I'm just like that, attention to detail. So if you've seen any spelling mistakes, don't tell me.
Not until afterwards. I haven't spoiled any yet.
Yay!
So I think that's probably. So what do you wish you'd known before you started, if anything?
I think it was mainly around the consequences of me doing things. Because like I mentioned before about the size of the book, also the graphic designer did it in InDesign. And I don't know, I kind of felt like that's not a popular way, a popular format to actually, or application, is that the right word to use, to do a book in, because other places aren't using that. Or even if they're not using that, it took a while to put it in a way that they would receive it.
Yeah.
There was so many conversations between like the graphic designer and then the printer. And then I was in the middle. And at some point I just said, can you two talk together, please? Because all this jargon, I didn't know.
No.
And I kind of felt a bit distant from the book at times.
Yeah.
In actual fact, I wanted to be there, but I needed to realize that my bit about this book is about the writing of it. It is a subject matter. It was not all the technical stuff, really.
Yeah.
And that's probably just a control thing of me. I just wanted to know everything.
Yeah. And it's your baby, isn't it? But I think that's so what I'm hearing there is that what you wish you known is about the sort of technical things and the implications of those, the consequences if you take stick to it.
Definitely, because like I said before, I just focused on wanting to write it and then get it done. If I really put a little bit of time and effort into thinking about, okay, afterwards, what will happen when I've done all the writing and it is a book and the decisions that I've made, things might have been a lot different. But hey ho, it's just the way. But that's where the lessons are, and I've learned so much.
Yeah. And you've got the book, and it's doing its work.
Yes, this is it. Oh gosh, yeah.
We're all going to take our own journey to the published book, and we'll all learn stuff from it. But hopefully, if we keep sharing it, we can make some of the other authors' journeys a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh,
On that note, what was your lowest point as an author?
Right, this was my lowest point. Oh my gosh, my heart sank. If there was any kind of device that could pick up energy in the room, it would like go ba-dum. For me, the graphic designer that I had was someone that I knew, and I won't go into all the details, but they had to return back to their own country, and that was in China. And initially I just thought, I'll be fine, we've got internet, we can communicate, we can this, we can that, but it just didn't work out that way. So I had to get somebody else to pick up where someone had left. And the way in which they had done things was, as you can imagine, different to how the new designer would have done things. So they had to kind of like unpick bits and do a lot of reformatting and redesigning and quite a few bits and pieces. So I gave them really a harder job probably than initially would have happened.
Yeah.
The lowest bit for me was thinking that I would not have a book, to be honest. I really felt that when that person went, who is going to come and pick up this and run with it? But like I said before, got good friends, and the rest, as they say, is history. I got my book done. But it was such a low point. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine someone saying that they have to go back and you're thinking, yeah, you'll be fine. And then it didn't happen.
Well, it is tough. I think part of that whole process, you have to build relationships with people and trust them with your baby, and also trusting that they've understood what you're trying to say.
Yes.
And getting it in place. So if you build that rapport up and then you've got to start all over again, I can imagine just
Honestly.
how tough that was.
Yeah, and I think even that as an issue for me, maybe that was something that I could ask them, like, is everything okay? How long are you going to be here? You know, is there anything that could possibly come in the way of you not being around that we can still continue this relationship? Just little things that you probably wouldn't think would come up. But I think for that happening now, I'll be a bit more like, okay, I think I might ask this, or just have like a general like questionnaire. I should have done it already, actually. Yeah. When everything actually worked with getting the book published, I should have started to write down all the things that had happened. But you talking to me now, it's brought things up, so I think I can do it after this. I'll do like a copy of things to remember for the next.
I call that the setting up for success process. It's really thinking about what you need from people.
Yeah.
And when are they going to be the review points, and also time frames, and what's the contingency plans if this runs over.
God, it sounds so organised.
Yeah, that's in my head. It doesn't always come out in reality because we're human beings, aren't we?
Yeah, things come up. Things come up.
What's been your biggest success to date?
Well, really, I would say definitely raising my own profile. Somehow, when you got a book, people want to know you. And like my credibility, you know, people who want to work with me, people who want to collaborate with me. So I may be a guest on whatever they're doing to do with social media, or there may be an event and they want me to come and speak. So all those things for me have really helped me either get more clients or potential clients, or just put myself in places where I might not have gone actually. But the fact is, people are coming to me. I think that's the unique difference. For anybody out there who is thinking of writing a book and is a bit on the fence and not sure, trust me, when you write that book, you will get people coming to you. Because having that book and saying you're an author, somehow it just propels you into another kind of stratosphere for people to want to do business with you. Yeah. Just saying that and just putting it out there. So any advice to anybody, do that book. Don't leave it in, because the fact that you've got a book, isn't that telling you something? You know, that's how I see it anyway. Well, but on a personal level, I would say one of the real big successes for me is people saying that, Lorraine, I don't eat meat anymore. I'm vegan. I'm embracing more raw foods. Because, you know, I could say on a subliminal level, yeah, I want everyone to be vegan, but that's just my choice, you know? So when I get people coming up to me or ringing me or direct messaging me on Facebook or emailing me and saying, by the way, Lorraine, I don't eat meat anymore. This is what I've had for today even, or last week. I'm like, really? And okay, hearing that is not bringing money on my table, but there's like a bigger thing going on.
Yeah.
And that is just, that's music to my ears. I'm like, yes, just think of all the animals that are going to be saved. But hey, that's good.
I think that's it. I think what we perhaps underestimate is when we're writing the book, where our message gets clearer, and the fact you have to go through what you're going to put on the cover, that's why people can come to you, because they know exactly what you do and how you do it and why you do it. And there is something magical when you know people can't necessarily afford to work with you, that if you can pass a book to them and they can still get that help.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Because the way in which I've put the book together, it's part, I call it part self-care and part raw recipe book. Yeah, the recipes are to encourage you to eat more clean and healthy, and they're very good at detoxing you and cleansing. But also you've got all the self-care tips, the lifestyle tips, but also I put stuff in there around resources, things to help you. There's some coaching stuff in there to really get you thinking about yourself and what you want to achieve. And, you know, some really good stories in there about other people, and also a bit of science, because some people like science. And there's a glossary, so you get to learn what certain words mean. So in a way, it's like a magazine, and it's colourful, and it's a subject area that not many people like to talk about, the menopause. So the way in which I've presented it is in a nice, colourful way that I'm hoping that women will just want to say, yeah, I love one of them. Let me read it, because trust me, it's got good information in there. It's the stuff in there that I wish I knew when I was going through my menopause. It really is, because...
So can I invite you to put your book up for the finish?
Yeah, of course. See, I can chat for ages on this.
Hold your book up, big smile. We have a freeze frame at the end.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's do this.
Lorraine Palmer, raw food. Fabulous. Fabulous. Thanks ever so much for joining me today, Lorraine.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.